Has the burden of debt make you feel like you're drowning? Recent reports shows that many South Africans are finding themselves in debt, not only unsecured but even secured debt. According to the Debtbusters Quarterly Report 2022, finding over the past 6 years shows that the nature of consumers applying for debt counseling. Those seeking debt counseling and financial freedom has really skyrocketed. Many consumers are under tremendous debt stress, people supporting multiple generations. What is apparent is many having to borrow just to make ends meet every month, and we're seeing a situation actually worsening over the last 3 years. This is evident especially with consumers who already has vehicle finance or bonds. It is found that consumers looking to repay debt needs up to 67% of their income to service debt. What consumers should know: if they have credit card or other debt and they need 40% of their income to service the debt. This means they should stop, as this figure should be the absolute maximum of a person's net income to pay debt. An observation shows that with a higher income bracket, up to as much as 100% is required to pay debt. What happens in the lower income range, 5,000 to 7,000 rand? It is evident that they 60% to 70% of net income to pay debt, which is essentially impossible. What happens is, the lower income debts taken out generally has a higher interest rate. This places consumers under tremendous pressure. Often an unexpected occurrence like a funeral or illness or job loss in the family or extended family. This puts the individual under severe pressure and left out in the cold, and debt starts mounting. This is most common. Also, what is experienced is people taking out more debt over time and stretching themselves beyond their means. Therefore, the most common occurrence still remains people paying vehicles, bonds, and all of a sudden, something unexpected happens and they find themselves in a debt trap. It has also been found that those with lower income often has debt interest rates of 22% to 25% on unsecured loans. Whereas the higher income range 14% to 16%. The lower income range has no collateral, and therefore the risk is higher, and so is the interest rates. We observe, as the income bands go up, assets are attached to loans and interest rates are consequently lower. The Debt Counselors Association of South Africa claims as of 2015 there were 10 million South Africans battling to make their debt repayments. This 10 million can be divided into 3 categories. 1/3 will battle through the debt themselves. 1/3 will need some assistance but not debt counseling. 1/3 will need active help like debt counseling to get them through the situation. Meaning many consumers can actually do it themselves. My personal experience attests to the debt situation in South Africa currently. What I'm sharing is very close to my heart and personal, as I too went through this trap of debt in 2020 to 2022, post the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic was hard on many, and during this time I lost my permanent job through retrenchment. Then the 2 businesses I was invested in experienced financial challenges, and the property tenants struggled making ends meet. As a result, this affected their ability to pay their rental on time and in full. This caused a complete shutdown of my income, and I became overextended on a revolving loan, credit card and overdraft, having to borrow money from family to pay the essentials. I have since recovered, to a degree, but without taking these debt elimination ladder steps seriously, I would still be stuck in that vicious debt cycle. As a family of 4, we were deep in debt, and apart from the financial strain, I also lost all confidence. I was just left feeling debilitated and defeated. This situation prevented us from going anywhere, stuck at home, left with feeling ashamed, guilty, and even embarrassed. This is what debt can do to you. Today, I want to support you, motivate you, and provide you with the necessary direction. If you are stuck in this trap of debt, look at these quotes about debt and are indeed so true. Every cent has a past, every criminal has a future. Sidra Jafri. Debt is like any other trap, easy enough to get into, but hard enough to get out of. Henry Wheeler Shaw. Some debts are fun when you are acquiring them, but none are fun when you set about retiring them. Ogden Nash. Sometimes it is our guilt, our shame, our fears, and our doubts that kills us more than the debt or the financial loss. Here's what I want you to know. If you fell into the trap of debt in business or personally, you are not a criminal. Losses don't always happen due to personal gain, good times, negligence, recreation, or self-enrichment. It is not always true that we blew the money or were reckless, in a way that the world would deem immoral. You lost that money because something did not work out for you or your business venture failed. So, stop blaming yourself, stop beating yourself up. I hope through the 7-Step Financial Freedom, our first video, will give you direction and strength to bounce back from your trap of debt. Here are some financial freedom tips that we teach. Critical step number 1, manage your budget. Green light, if your debt repayment is less than 35% of your take-home pay. Action, maintain. Amber light, if your debt repayment is more than 35% but less than 50% of your take-home pay. Action, reduce some expenses to below 35%. Red light, if your debt repayment is more than 50% of your take-home pay.
Action, shed some of your debt. Have an action plan in place, and the sooner you take action, the better off you'll be. Go to a debt counselor, structure debt, and make monthly payments to pay off debt. Critical step number 2, decide if you need debt counseling. Critical step number 3, make use of credit provider benefits. Critical step number 4, prescribed or extinguished debt is debt after a certain period of time is extinguished or lapsed, meaning cannot be collected on nor payable by consumers. Critical step number 5, retrieve your credit report. There are many tactics we can apply if we are serious about escaping the debt trap. Get your money right, if not now, when? Let's make this our ambition for 2023. Happy 2023.